Mission Brief. It's been what, 2 weeks? I think haven't been able to get a good one in. Kevin and Greg here with us tonight. Congratulations, Greg, on your first asphalt win with us. Is it your first one, period?
Actually, it might be.
I don't know how you did it, man. I was having a hard time out there. Just did New Mission Mania at, what was that, South Boston in the super late models. I suck.
Nah,
No, I got
it was
caught
a
up.
crazy race. Yeah.
Yeah, I got caught up in a few things, and then after that, like once my tires went, I couldn't keep up. But you guys were doing fantastic.
I had a decent run. I couldn't pass that dang Greg at the end though.
Yeah.
Heard he was a menace out there anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure there's at least one car that would agree with you there.
It was fun though. Hey, check it out. Wednesday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We do New Mission Mania live on Twitch, but we run it in a hosted session. Come out and join us. It's free to join. It's just free content. Come out and meet us. Also, if you're watching this, if you listen to us, don't forget to send your, real life or iRacing pictures and clips and everything to newmissionmotorsports@gmail.com. That's newmissionmotorsports@gmail.com, and have them here on this podcast when it's released on YouTube the following day. So what was your iRacing like this week, guys? Anything?
Nah, nothing for me. What did we do? Triple Threat Daytona last Friday night. That's really all I had, and I'm practicing for next week.
Yeah, this Friday's gonna be rough.
Yeah, it's gonna be a difficult race.
Oh my God, Greg, you gonna watch that one?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if there's any chance I can spot. I might try to spot, but if not, I'll try to watch on here.
I'll try. Do you have any real life racing this week?
No, the next time we race is gonna probably be like the end of September, because right now I have no local races scheduled, and I have a couple weddings to go to the next couple Saturdays, so.
Yeah, life gets in the way sometimes.
Yeah, the whole responsibility thing when you run a race, it just who wants to be responsible? I don't.
All right. Whether it's iRacing, real racing, whatever,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time, man.
Yeah.
This is true.
So yeah, this Friday night it's going to be a long one for Kevin and I, representing New Mission Motorsports and Triple Threat. We're going to Montreal, Circuit de. Yeah, I'm not even going to try to do French.
Yeah, road course.
Yeah, it's a road course. It's going to be long. It's going to be tough. And if it's anything like last season's, I don't know if they're actually going to stop for cautions for the stages. So it could be a long 95 minutes of grinding.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it a little bit. I've been practicing quite a bit, really by myself. So I don't know how other cars braking and trying to come off a corner and get next to someone so you can pass them in the next corner. It's already super loose. So if you push just a little harder to try to get by someone, you're probably gonna spin out.
I really wish we were in the same series. Like
Oh,
tried.
yeah.
I tried. Then we need to get Greg in there. But what's going to happen now is if I get promoted next season, if you get promoted, and then we get Greg to come in, it's going to be each of us stacked in different fields. And it's like, damn it.
Yeah, then we'll win all three.
Yeah. You're very optimistic.
Hey, I started winning asphalt today. Maybe by next year I'll be able to win all the races.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, we can teach you some asphalt, like we need to apparently, and you can teach us some dirt.
Oh, we definitely need that.
Oh, speaking of dirt, before we get out too much into this, shout out to Jamie. I've been talking to him lately. He's been, still working away at his house, having a rough time at it. But shout out to you, buddy, man. We miss you here on the channel, and you keep it going. You got a reserved seat here.
We do miss you, man. We do miss you. Miss talking to you.
Yeah, he was asking about the podcast the last couple of weeks. He's like, I go to listen to it, and I'm just like, well, man, we had a 1 week we had bad audio, and the next week after that we just we were tired.
Yeah, we're old.
We're old.
Well, I'm old. Oh yeah, another one was racing. Yeah, Greg was racing. He has a good excuse. The rest of us are just
we're just
old.
lazy. Yeah,
there you go.
Greg going racing on a Wednesday night. Seriously, that's a school night, Greg. Shouldn't you be in bed?
Hey, it was supposed to be Tuesday. It's not my fault that
Yeah,
it rained.
which is
Is your
still a school
homework
night.
done?
What was that?
You said
Oh,
is your homework done? It's a
Yeah.
school night. No, I mean Greg does have one guy. He joined us at what was that? We were at Limaland in the Legends.
Yeah, it was the practice night for the lead.
Yeah, the dude was asking me if I ran real life, and I was like, no. And I was like, do you? He goes, yeah, but school's getting in the way. And I was like, wait a minute, what? He's like, I'm in 11th grade. I'm like, man, yeah, I've done nothing.
oh, you've done nothing. Yeah, you've done nothing. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Well, when it comes to racing, I've done nothing. And
Okay, all right.
now
Yeah,
I'm
because
stuck doing nothing.
you know,
Yeah,
some give a little. You know. Yeah.
we still do what we can.
Yeah, man.
Send me back though.
Yeah, I got you, man. Yeah, I don't miss the military too much. You know, I did my whole 20, and man, there's a lot of aspects I do miss about it, but I'm happy to not worry about going anywhere anymore.
Yeah, my 20 would have been this June 18th.
That's crazy. I
We
joined on
passed it.
June 18th. Yeah,
Did you? That was mine too.
1950. No,
That-
1992.
you, did you do the 9 and the 2 backwards?
It's if you say
1929?
19, if you say you joined in 19 something, you're old because
Oh,
you could have joined in 2000 and retired already.
I mean, yeah, well, that I don't know if you guys seen those reels with the drinking thing, like people getting your ID checked and they're like, "Well, don't you want to see the date?" And I was like, "No, it's fine. I can see the one."
Yeah,
And it's just
it's
like that setting
it's
in. It's like shit.
it says 19 in front of it. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're old.
yeah.
It trips me up every time I see one of those signs now, and it's like, if you were born before this date and it's a 2000, I'm like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it doesn't seem that long ago.
Well, I mean, they're taking in new recruits now that were, post 9/11 at this point.
Oh yeah, way past. I
Yeah,
mean, you
so
could
it's
join
like,
at 17, and we're
yeah,
in 22. So that,
God,
2004, 2000, 2006, you could join if you were born in '06.
yeah. And I'm sitting there going like, man, in 2005 I was on my second tour. Shit, I'm old. Well, anyway,
It happens to the best of us.
not
It's
to
better to
me.
be old than not be old.
Why, God? Why take everybody else? Well, I mean, I guess we can go back to racing a little bit here before we get into the personal stuff. Got to cover that. We missed quite a bit, but Darlington, the poll from NASCAR, one of the NASCAR Facebook pages, I think it's just NASCAR Racing does a poll every week, and they said that 22%, or the racing was up 22% as far as people liking it this past week. How did you guys? Did you guys watch it?
I did.
I enjoyed it.
I did not get a chance to watch.
Yeah, I thought it was a great race. Um, it's a great racetrack. From Richmond, where it was kind of boring, to Daytona is Daytona, and then Darlington was just a good, um, you know, side by side was tough. They could do it for a couple of laps. It was great.
Well, I mean, you guys know how I like most of my loyalties go to Ford. But I mean, every car in my mind is a piece of shit. Sorry. I mean, being a technician working on them, they're all crap. But I would be really curious. I actually am really curious what's going on with the Hendrick Motor Shop.
Yeah, I mean, it's one race. I remember a race. Gosh.
Well, it wasn't one. I mean, Larson had 2 weeks in a row. He's had issues. They had issues about 2 or 3 weeks before that. Now two cars laid over, but then all of a sudden started working again, which to me sounds electrical, honestly.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I remember back in the late '90s, there was a race, and all four Hendrick cars died, like at Michigan, one after the other.
Oh, that's that one Michigan race I was actually going to go to, and I just sabotaged all their cars.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
No, I grew up about 45 minutes from the track. Never gone.
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bummer. I wouldn't mind going.
Nah, Michigan might be cool. There's some speed there.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure what hopefully they got it fixed. Now's not the time to be having engine problems.
No,
If you're
absolutely
trying to
not.
win a championship. And oh my gosh, contenders for the championship last week just took hit after hit after hit.
Oh my god. Well, besides the Hendrick cars being a shocker, Kyle Busch for his engine to go out under caution, pace laps, low RPM.
Done it deliberate.
Well, I mean, they would have data on that if he did it deliberately.
No, I don't think he did. It's just a quote.
It's just weird. It's like you're driving around, pace laps. I mean, we all do it on iRacing. Obviously, we're not in a real car. But what happened just for it to lay over? You know,
Well, maybe something broke or something breaks and you're at speed. You're gonna know. But
yeah, he
or
said he had
something
no
weakened
indication.
and weakened and weakened and weakened, and then under caution it let go. I guess
Suddenly, he's got a two-piece cam.
it's a Toyota.
It is. It is. I don't know. I'd be questioning that though with Hendrick for sure.
Yeah.
Overall, good race.
Oh no, definitely, and the points are shaking up a little bit. It was kind of like, well, the nine's gonna kind of run away with it for a few races, but now he's back in the mix too. So
Well, Elliott wrecked out, didn't he?
yep.
If I remember correctly, yeah. So yeah, I mean, you're right. Championship contenders this weekend.
What Harvick had a fire.
Yeah.
The 18, the 9, the 5. So the 5 came all the way back, and then they pitted. So I think he was like in the top 5 or 7th or something like that. And they did that last pit stop, and he had to come back down pit road under caution and tighten the lug nut. So he ended up in the back 17th or something like that on the last restart.
This was the 5?
Yep.
I didn't notice that. I missed that.
Well, I knew he finished back there. I didn't know why, and I saw an interview. He said they had to come back down pit road and tighten a wheel.
Oh, that's.
Or make sure it was tight. They weren't sure.
Oh, Greg, you already posted your thing on Discord. I'm gonna add you another photo for your win. Again, congrats, Greg, on your win tonight.
Thank you.
He's like, no, he's celebrating. Too drunk celebrating.
Yeah.
Nah, I was looking up an article.
Actually, somebody sent me something today. Kevin, I think you did. No, I'm sorry. You did send me an article, but there's another one talking about potentially next year North Wilkesboro possibly hosting the All-Star race. I'm going to follow up on that. I can't say for sure
that'd be
that's
cool.
true.
That'd be real cool, yeah.
Yeah, this is from motorsport.com. I want to make sure it's actually true, but from motorsport.com, North Wilkesboro expected to host 2023 NASCAR All-Star race. And I tell you what, that's not too far from me, dude. You might have to come over here, and we'll go.
Well, what I was going to bring up with that, they just announced today that they're not actually going to have dirt races in October there, that they're going to...
Yeah.
At the moment, they've said that they can't get the track prepared with the surface and everything in that time frame, but I've also seen rumors already that apparently there's talks of leaving the pavement the way it is and not repaving it.
Really? After all those years of sitting out?
The rumors that I read said something about Dale Earnhardt Jr. liked it the way it was and wanted to leave it that way, but that's not anything confirmed. They just did actually say that they don't think they can provide the surface that they want to, so they've canceled the dirt events for October.
I'd like to see what the tire wear is on that right now, especially with it being sitting out so long. But if he likes it, he likes it. Dale's going to have the final say, probably.
I was going to say he's been instrumental in getting it back going. So
yeah.
I thought they were going back to the Coliseum next year, though. No.
For the Clash.
Yeah. What are you talking about?
All-Star race.
All-Star race. Oh, that'd be crazy. Yeah.
I don't even think, has that been confirmed that they're going to...
I don't know.
The
I thought I heard him say they were going back again. Yeah.
I thought so
That was a
too,
good
but I wasn't
race.
sure. That was awesome. That was an awesome race. I was actually surprised by that. Pleasantly surprised. I mean, Joey did win too, so it makes me happy.
Yeah, whatever.
Don't be hating on the Fords.
I don't. They catch on fire.
They do. They burn themselves. That's still just weird. I mean, I can understand with it happening to Busch or in Indianapolis when he got damaged from getting hit, but for it just to ignite on fire from nothing, they're gonna have design flaws. I mean, I don't know if I want to be so critical about the cars yet, but
Yeah, well, I saw. I sent you an article earlier today, but I saw a video of race director. I forget his name, and he was talking, and he was saying that um, there's just a little too much opening in the front, and with the amount of rubber that's being brushed off at Darlington, uh,
is that what it was?
that's what got the four in trouble. Yeah, so what they've done now is they are allowing them to use some kind of paint. They can paint metal parts. They can paint, and there's specific parts that they can paint with this heat resistant paint now, and so it's supposed to stop those fires from happening now. So we'll see.
Well, the jury's out on that still. We'll see how it
You
goes.
can't just change the front of the car now.
No.
Like they've spent how much time trying to figure out how to cool the cars, and so they got it. They have them set up. Maybe in the off season they can do something, but
I mean, they spent what, probably the better part of 2 years putting this car together, and I mean,
yeah.
you're not gonna find out all the flaws until you actually race it. I mean, you can
All right.
test all day by yourself, but it's like me trying to hot lap these stupid cars on iRacing. I can't do it, but well, I can't even say I can race. Tonight I couldn't.
Yeah, and I don't even know if if is that the biggest problem. I mean, it's a safety problem for sure. I think the independent suspension and the low profile tires are a problem for racing. They used to be able to kind of hit the wall and keep going. Now they hit the wall and that back right tire bends and it's over.
Well, thankfully, it's just a quick change toe link. I mean, Greg, is your car? Do you guys have stuff like that? Is your car like a quick change toe link on that?
So the way ours works, we have radius rods that hold the front end together. So as long as you don't bend the axle, then you could just change a radius rod out. But if you bend the spindle or break a spindle or bend the axle, you got to change the whole front end basically.
See, I kind of like the solid axles that they had before. Like, I don't know. Excuse me. These suspensions that they got now, we've already seen problems with them. We've seen them get flats, and they can't drive off.
Right, and that's
And it's
an
just,
issue with the low profile tire
yeah.
because the other tires aren't high enough to get them moving. And so that's what happened to the 9 car. He hit the wall or hit another car and bent that, and they have, NASCAR's rule is 10 minutes to fix it.
Yeah.
And he ran out of time. The timer ran out. They hadn't changed it. So I don't know how quick, they can do it, but on that car they couldn't. And so the car could have kept racing, but because his 10-minute timer ran out, they said he's disqualified. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to hate on the single lug nut like a lot of people do, but I think
I
they should
don't
go
mind that.
back to the 15-inch wheel with the thicker tire. And if you can keep it a single lug nut, fine. But I think you need to have more rubber and the possibility of having a run flat in the car to keep this bottom of this car with the diffuser and everything off the ground for when they're flat.
Right. Yep.
So,
And I like the 5 lug nuts because it made pit road a race also, and it still is to
yeah.
a point. But the 5 lug nuts, and I don't know if this is safer or not. I don't know, but
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an engineer, but
yeah. But the 5 lug nuts was, I always thought pit road was undervalued
yeah.
by the broadcast
Well,
since like Benny Parsons left when he was timing pit stops.
a question I've had, and I don't know, maybe Greg, given the fact that you work on race cars more often than I do, I work on cars, but I don't get an opportunity to work on race cars. As a mechanic, I was actually concerned about them going to the single lug because I was like, what's the chances of them cross-threading this thing? Now what? how easy is it for them to cross thread these things? And now you got a whole wheel down, whole axle. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's happened too much. They had a few wheels fall off at the beginning of the season. If you remember, people getting penalties for that.
Yeah.
It's a severe penalty, you know. So, but since then, I can't really remember a wheel coming off in a while.
No.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to lug nuts and stuff like that, I think for the most part there's not a huge problem with it. It really depends on, when you start getting into a steel spindle, or in that case you're basically bolting right onto the spindle.
Yeah.
In the manner of the studs versus the lug nuts, I mean, cut cars, most high dollar stuff, they're using aluminum lug nuts. So yeah, you can cross thread them and screw them up, but I don't know how often that happens. I know in my case, we always use the steel lug nuts just because I don't know, they're just a lot easier to deal with. You don't have to worry about them cross thread and getting messed up, any of that. They pretty much just are solid.
Now, do you guys don't have to worry about like quick pit stops and stuff though, right? You guys just do your race, come back in, and do your repairs.
Yeah, not the types of races that I do.
Yeah.
They did have some modified races back in the day where they would run like a 200 lap race and they would make pit stops and stuff, but that was like a once a year thing, and it's still pretty much now any of the long distance races that they have, they're all for big blocks first of all, but uh, if the big blocks have a long distance race, it's typically like we're gonna red flag it and come in and make pit stops, because none of the tracks they race at anymore really have a hot pit area like Syracuse did. That's the only place that I know of they did the hot pit road where it was legit NASCAR style pit stop.
I think it'd be a little difficult with your guys' cars though, wouldn't it?
It was interesting.
I was gonna say you guys 602 modifieds. It'd be a little weird. It'd be funny to watch.
Yeah, like I said, we never had that kind of deal, but the big blocks at Syracuse and the small blocks they did, and they'd run a 200 and a 150, and the small blocks were 150, the big blocks were a 200 lap race, and I mean they had to pit once during the race usually, and if you change tires, you're probably changing rear tires, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
the way our cars are, they don't have like side jack posts, so you jack it up by the back end and just change both rear tires.
Yeah. I mean, I was fortunate enough to work on a modified car up in New York when I lived up there, and yeah, you still got the mechanical fuel pump on yours? Out of curiosity.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember his, like, he couldn't get it started, and that's what it was. It's like, because it wouldn't start, it wouldn't pick up the fuel. So I put fuel in a bottle and started dumping it in his carburetor, and he thought I was nuts. Like, well, how else do you think the fuel gets in there? You got to get it running to pick up the gas, you fool. I wish I could work on a car. Well, Kevin, you're running New Mission Mania next week. What are you thinking about doing?
I don't know. Man, I almost think we just do the same track and car we just did. That was fun.
Bite me.
Um,
I
nah,
set this
man.
up too, and I was dying.
Yeah, nah, you got kind of shuffled out there.
Well,
Um,
yeah.
I I just feel like we had a good turnout, you know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'll think about it here while we're doing the podcast. Maybe by the end of the podcast, I'll have something.
I'm gonna make them pick something strange. F1 cars.
Yeah,
F1 cars at a jumpy track.
right.
No
I
damage.
really like those. I really like those Beetles at the Daytona little road course or whatever it is. I
Oh, the
think it was Daytona.
Beatles are a blast.
Yeah, but I don't know how many people would show up for that.
I think
You know,
we do that once, or no?
I didn't. Maybe it was done and I wasn't there. I don't know.
I don't know. I ran quite a few of them. I know we. Oh god, yeah, the street stocks we did at Wild West. That wasn't a good one.
Right.
We had a good time, but nobody else showed up, which was a bummer.
We could try to do dirt next week. I don't know. We'll see. I'll try to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll see what happens next week. Next Wednesday, I should be full-time streaming again here on Twitch. Kids are back in school. Week 13 will be done, and I'm sure to probably be demoted in my roads license this week. I forgot. I think I told Greg about it 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh crap, man, I got to get like .4 safety rating on my license, or I'm going to get demoted from A to B, and I just never had a chance to go down and do it.
Yeah, that was the night we were practicing at Silverstone.
Yeah. God, that was fun too. Oh my god. Maybe that should be one.
Yeah, I'm down.
Yeah, we did the Kevin, you and I have done them before, the Pro Mazdas.
Yeah, those are fun.
Yeah, we did them on
As long as
Silverstone.
we can get people, yeah.
Well, I know one person that'll be there. Robert.
Yeah, Robert, man, he's doing,
Good for
I
him,
like
man.
seeing him every week, man.
Yeah.
He has good input during the race, and yeah, he's great, man.
That one kid was really into it tonight too, man. He had something to say about everything.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
that's
stop.
awesome.
Part of me's like, stop, dude. We get it. Then he got mad at me because like I went low on him, and it wasn't because I wanted to. It's because I was sideways. Dude behind me hit me and sent me down towards the pit lane.
Oh yeah.
Like, sorry, but he got on the horn before I could even hit the button and started yelling at me like, dude, go any deeper?
Yeah.
Almost started to cry. I was like, I hear the same thing at home. Anyway.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, you're not gonna touch that one, are you?
And I'm not touching any of that.
Yeah.
You're talking about going down on them and going deeper. And, I don't know, man.
Sometimes got to go up the rear of the car and lift it, or up the rear. And
Dick Trickle's jumping all over the track.
yeah.
Hey, so here's a thing out of left field.
Yeah.
All right. So I was watching this video today. There's a what is it? It's a Facebook thing with Neil deGrasse Tyson. Anyway, today they were talking about autonomous self-driving cars, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're saying, is that like, what's some pros and cons of that? Like, do we think they're ever gonna just take over, where you won't be driving, you'll just be riding around?
It's that movie iRobot where they had that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess right now in Phoenix, Google has like taxis that drive themselves. You hail it, you get in, the computer drives you wherever you need to go.
I think it would be interesting to do that, but I have a hard time giving up control. Personally.
Yeah, so a couple of things they brought up. We'll start with like deaths, right? There's 30 to 35,000 deaths a year, every year, in cars. That's pedestrians and people in the cars. So it's like 100 a day, really, is what it is. And if you go to self-driving autonomous cars, that potentially could go to 0, or 1,000 or 500. Is that, are people willing to give that up for the safety aspect?
Well,
if you can be sure that your kids will be safe in a school bus, in a car, and for the rest of their lives, would you be willing to say, yeah, let's go autonomous?
My thoughts on it, if it's proven that these cars will remain within programming, then I'm all for it, because I am sick and tired of watching people drive looking at their crotch. And they're not looking at their crotch, they're looking at their damn phones. But,
yeah.
I mean, God, like, people drive up and down our street here, and I know you've been to my house and stuff like that, but I mean, I've seen people drive by and they're looking straight down. What happens if my kid runs out?
Right.
I mean, so for that instance, absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, so you're saying, and this was the kind of argument they had in the video, like, so as long as it can stay within programming, well, what if it doesn't? What if, every once in a while it messes up and kills somebody, but 500 people die instead of 35,000 from car accidents? Is it still worth it?
Is it acceptable? I'd say it's. I mean, we learn by mistakes, right? I mean,
Yeah,
any
and
event that happens, we learn, we fix it.
yep, and they brought up an example during the video, and they were saying that um, one of the earlier accidents where a lady got killed. She was a pedestrian. She was riding a bike and she was crossing the street, not in a crosswalk, but she was walking the bike. And an autonomous car didn't slow down and just ran right into her. And when they went back into the programming could identify a human being and it could identify a bicycle, but it hadn't figured out how to combine the two. So it got confused and didn't know what to do. So it just kept going, and it killed her.
Sounds about right.
Yeah. So that's, but I mean, those things, I don't know. It's a really good discussion. I really enjoy driving,
No,
but, but to work in the morning, I could just,
use a
brush
nap.
my teeth on the way to work,
Go back to bed.
Yeah.
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, on my way home when the traffic is horrible. And I bet commute times would be faster too because you don't have to worry about traffic jams and people blocking and cutting people off and all that stuff. So I don't know.
You go out there and see Greg asleep driving an autonomous race car.
Nope. That's when I check out of racing when they start bringing out RC cars.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's been talks about going electric and already, and I'm just like, I don't even like that. So for racing,
Well, no, I think racing, you got to have that human element.
yeah,
I think that's part of it. But that might be the only time, or maybe Sunday driving, or I don't know, out in the country. Cities are probably going to go all autonomous, and then that brought up a point. If they're autonomous in the cities, like let's say New York City, have you ever been?
no,
Yep.
you have Greg?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's just people everywhere. All right, I mean everywhere. The sidewalks are packed. Uh, it's like what is it, 9 million people in that city? So if all the cars are autonomous and they can't hit a person, what's to stop you from just walking out into the street? So what
Nobody
they were
would move.
saying is, right. What they're saying is in the cities, cars will just go away because people will just be walking wherever they want, and the cars will stop.
That's
So
fair. It's a fair assumption.
yeah, so that's kind of that negative side, where
And
um,
New Yorkers will do that.
I was gonna
oh
say,
yeah,
people
and
can be dicks. I mean, even here in Podunk, Salem, Virginia, I could be driving through a parking lot and somebody just walk in front of me without even looking.
Oh yeah, it's for sure not just a New Yorker thing,
No.
but New Yorkers will be the first to jump out in front of a car if they know it'll stop.
right,
Yeah.
and then once the car stops, there's 600 people behind that first guy that are going to take that opportunity to run across the street. So yeah, they're saying like the big cities, New York City, Atlanta's with a lot of people are going to be the first ones that there won't be cars. You'll take a train or something, or you'll park outside of town, and it'll be subways and walking.
I mean, that's essentially what they want anyway, so it's not
Yeah,
that bad of a situation.
I
yeah, and
just
they'll all be electric. So
see, and that's the thing is, I don't. As much as I believe electric is a way to possibly go, like it makes sense. The infrastructure's not there yet for it, and I've actually seen in the United Kingdom. If I could find the article, I'm sorry, but I read an article this week. I guess I should have kept it. They're talking about electric cars are actually becoming more expensive. Not just the cars themselves, but maintaining, like refueling them, quote unquote refueling, because it's actually causing a surge or increase in the power grid, which is costing people more money.
Yep.
So there's not a trade off there now. It's actually getting more expensive to buy and more expensive to maintain.
Your average, I think your average like town, let's say you live in a development. I think if you had 5 electric cars plugged in charging at the same time, it would fry your grid the way it's set up right now. And the fact that that's the case means that everything needs to be upgraded to
Yep.
actually maintain it and be able to use it. there's the whole deal of planning what you're going to do on your stops, because instead of it taking you 10 minutes to fill up, it takes you 2 hours at best. And you're going to be stopping more often as it is right now. The run time can improve over time, but the the major thing with electric cars, from what little bit of information I've learned from a college class on it, was basically the biggest benefit to them is it's easier to control the emissions at a power station than it is each individual car.
Yeah.
So while a lot of people make the argument electric still gets made by gas, usually some sort, coal, gas, whatever. Uh, it is, if you could actually do away with the cars, it would be easier to deal with the emissions from a power plant than it would be from 1,000 cars to one power plant.
Yeah, and I mean, if what about when gas cars first showed up? There wasn't gas stations everywhere. It took time for that to build.
Yeah.
It's the same thing's going to happen with electric cars. The infrastructure will come as more and more people need it, I believe. When somebody can make money off of it, they'll build it.
I
Oh, I'm
think the
sure.
issue I think the issue with electric cars versus gas cars is, while that argument is correct for gas cars, you got to think about it from the fact that people are already used to traveling across the country. They're used to traveling long distances, whereas when gas cars came around, it was a luxury to be able to leave your town,
Yep.
Grapevine,
Yeah, good point.
do that. So it's accurate to the gas stations being an issue, but that's where the real problem comes in. Is everybody's used to going the long distances now. Now you've got to change how you do it, and it gets really complicated really fast. And you're talking like, we had projects in that class that literally our goal was to plan out what we had to do, or what we were going to do when we stopped to charge the car over like a road trip. And a road trip that would take you, you know, 4 hours, maybe two fuel stops. You're taking three or four electric stops, and it's taking you 12 hours. And you've got to figure out where you're going to get your meals. Basically, at that point, the gas stations need to become a one-stop shop,
Yeah.
and you just stay there, do your stuff, and then you leave when you're done.
Well, we had one. I don't. I think I thought I was talking to you about this, Greg, but it might not have been. It might have been someone else. But about 2 weeks ago, we have a gas station here that does have charging stations, and I was actually an appointment right across the street, and I could hear this lady and her husband arguing from across the street, and that's exactly what it was. Was she was upset about the Tesla because it was taking so long to charge. She's like, "You had to buy this stupid car. Now we got to sit here for like 2 hours to charge this thing," and I'm laughing uh, because I get it.
Yeah, that's probably one of the bigger issues
Yeah.
besides the power grid thing. But
Yep.
there's so I haven't seen this anywhere, and maybe I should start my own business. I don't know, but I could see like traveling becomes a rental car business. So you're not going to take your Tesla to California, but what you're going to do is go and rent a car from Enterprise, and then you drive to a charging station, switch cars, drive to a charging station, switch cars, drive to a charging station,
Oh,
switch
hopping.
cars.
You're hopping cars.
Yeah, so I don't know. I haven't seen that anywhere. I've been thinking about that, and that would be a way that I think that would be accomplished.
It's not a
But
bad
now
idea.
you're in a rental car the whole time, so the expense goes up. So I don't know.
And you got to load and unload the car every time.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, don't get caught pulling out your blow up doll, Kevin.
Or you're gonna load your car on a train. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah.
You're gonna load.
Yeah.
I won't. But
Yeah.
you load your car on a train and take an electric train all the way to California and download it. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, well, we just make some large monorails that go back and forth.
There you go. Yeah. Who
Mm.
knows, man? It's gonna be underground. I don't know.
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think I think it's a step in the right direction. I just think we're going too quick for the grid.
Well, I mean, California is going to be the forerunner, right? And they're saying 2035. So, that's what is that?
I see too many citizens being pissed off but to do that.
13 years, 14 years. Well, I mean,
I mean,
it's
yeah. I
gonna
mean,
happen
if you
everywhere.
got no choice, but I mean, there's a lot of people like me. I'm sorry, I'd rather stick with the engine. There's so much, the internal combustion engine. There's so much. God, I don't even know how to say this right now.
No, now that I think about that, Kevin, to your point, what what they have talked about and what we talked about in this class was instead of charging your battery, you pull up to a store where you pay like a monthly fee and you just pull in your batteries mounted. So Tesla's already started developing this where they have a battery that's just on the bottom of the car and it can basically you pull up over almost like a Jiffy Lube lift and it
Okay,
pulls the
yeah.
battery off the bottom and swaps it out, puts a new one in.
Okay,
So you don't sit there and charge. It just changes out a battery, and they have a constant stock of batteries charging, so that anybody that comes up just pulls in, swaps batteries, and leaves, and
okay.
they have a bank of batteries that's sitting there charging.
So, and that's a
I,
way to save. So, another issue with electric cars is the batteries last 6 to 10 years.
Yep.
In 6 to 10 years, you can't drive it. So, and then now you're paying, $6,000 to $14,000 on new batteries. So, a situation like that where it's a swap deal, that might be, and then the car companies or whoever owns that shop where you get your battery swapped out, they're absorbing that cost, but you're paying over time instead of one shot.
I think I got one better. Why can't we? We have the technology. Alternators. Why can't an alternator be mounted to, let's just say, not the alternator itself, but you know how they work. They've got the stator in there, they've got the coils and everything. Why can't you design the stator and the coils to go around an axle and basically have four alternators, one on each wheel, charging the car as you drive?
Is it enough? I don't know.
That'd be interesting. I don't know why you can't. I mean, you got one alternator on a normal car is enough to charge the battery on the car,
Yeah, but that battery's
14
not
volts.
running the car,
Correct.
right? It starts the car, and it runs a little bit nowadays. Like they're pulling some charge for electronics and stuff, but not.
Maybe not so much to charge it, but enough to maintain its charge.
Yeah, I don't know. I think if it could be done, it would be. They would have done that. I think it's just too much
I mean,
Well,
power.
you and I
so
are thinking about keeping that car going. They're thinking about making profits.
I mean that's how a hybrid works right now. That's
Regenerative braking.
yeah, but it's essentially doing the same thing as it's constantly picking up the charge as it goes on. I mean, yeah, it picks up more during braking, but it does pick up some charge just while you're driving, I believe.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think it's heat energy.
But it's yeah, the biggest problem is there's no profit to be made if your
Yep.
car's a perpetual energy machine.
And that's what it always boils down to is money. Money, money, money. I mean, we could come up with solutions that probably actually work. Why can't you throw a solar panel on the top of the dang thing that has a clear roof, you know? Just give it a shaded roof and make that shaded roof a solar panel.
Face it, we have nuclear power plants that are aged to the point of basically being non-functional. They need to be shut down at this point. If we had actually worked on that energy source and utilized it as we should have, we could have, a nuclear powered car. The problem is you get
Yeah.
into the whole nuclear waste and an accident and all that stuff, but you know,
Well,
I'm sure there's ways we could have worked around that if we really put the effort in.
Well, look what happened to Richard Hammond. I want to say 2 years ago. If you don't know, Richard Hammond does. I mean, I'm sure you guys know, but he does like Top Gear Now Grand Tour for Amazon. Uh, really funny group of guys. But he got into a car accident with it was the Rimac, I think it was called, and they said that the car after the accident continued to catch fire for 5 days after the accident because of the battery. So we're talking about safety and a charge here and all this stuff, and it's like that doesn't sound safer to me because when he flipped, it actually caught fire pretty bad and then continued to burn for 5 days because they couldn't stop the charge from catching the car on fire. It's Kevin Harvick all over again.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Well, all this is just like NASCAR. Um, all these electric cars, we're gonna learn things as time goes forward,
Yeah.
and things are gonna get better. Things are gonna,
At least we hope they do.
it's gonna, yeah. I mean, it's gonna happen. So I don't want it to. I like sports cars. I like internal combustion engines. But nothing will piss you off more than sitting in your $100,000 Corvette and a Tesla rolls up and dust you. Because you got a
Of course, it's a
internal
Corvette.
combustion engine.
Electric cars will smoke a gas car. Easy.
Right, and that's what it's gonna come down to, and all these, I think Seattle too. They said in 2035, they didn't say you can't buy one or sell it. They said you can't register it.
Yeah, register.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, so you might as
you
well
know,
not buy it. I mean,
right. So, and I think California said it had to be hydrogen or electric powered. So there's that.
hydrogen or electric?
I believe that's what they said.
Natural gas. Excuse me. So, I mean, we are coming to a close for tonight. Before we go, I'd like to discuss coming up next year, January, March. Well, January will be our first one. Looking at hosting a series of events, I'm going to invite some streamers myself. Going to have a pot. Looking at putting in a trophy for some long races. Daytona 500s, probably the weekend of, I believe, January 15th. And my thoughts, unless you guys want to put some input into this, I know we've kind of talked about it a little bit, but having a price to come in, cut it in half of it goes to charity, 50% of the rest goes to the winner, and we split it from there, 50%, 20%, 15, 10. I'm looking forward to doing this.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be cool, man. As we ramp up and get closer to it and start advertising and start getting people signed up, I think it'll be a lot of fun.
I think for the advertising and stuff, I'd like to get all of us. I wish Jamie was here. Hopefully, we can get him on. But like, get a picture of our cars on the tracks. Like, we'll get the next gen cars. All three of us get our cars painted up and take some photos and make an advertisement that way. And
Yeah,
I definitely would like to get this thing going. 5 events next year, all for charity. Pretty much, we're going to the Combat Vets bike rally next year, state rally for Virginia, here locally, and at Catawba. Virginia, actually. Or Catawba. Excuse me if I pronounce it wrong.
Oh, I'm sure you didn't. I'm sure you hit it right on the head.
No, I probably did not. I don't speak English, let alone Native American.
All right.
So, but yeah. I'm looking forward to putting that together with you guys. I got some merchandise coming. T-shirts should hopefully be here tomorrow night. Should have one for each of you guys. Anybody else wants to get them? Yep, I already ordered them. Got them set. Got you guys going, man. You guys have some New Mission Motorsports T-shirts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna charge Jamie for one though.
Yeah, might as well.
Might as well. He just doesn't want to be here anymore.
I'll get y'all sizes and send you some of my shirts.
Oh, that'd be awesome,
That'd
man.
be great.
That's cool.
Yeah, I had to pull in some favors to get this shirt done. Brush my teeth. Anyway, no.
Thank the Lord.
No, yeah, it's very small. Favor.
Small miracles.
Small favor. No, we had a trade off. I did a bunch of work and stuff, but we'll get that thing rolling here. We'll get these events going. Shout out to Matt Malone, who I plan on contacting you, dude. Have you join us, hopefully, and Quirkatize. I know they're big streamers. I know Quirk is actually live right now, I think. But yeah, hopefully it'll be some good events coming up next year.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting, man. It's gonna be an exciting 23 for sure.
It is. 5 events every other month, long races. Daytona 500 first. Still haven't figured out the rest, but I know I'm going to do at least a 4-hour race at Road America. I believe that's going to be July. I can already feel Kevin going, shit.
I was about to say, yeah, my arms are already tired. Like,
Well, maybe we can do 4-hour team event. Who knows? But each one of us
yeah.
has to do hour and a half. You can have at least hour and a half to an hour each. I don't know. We'll figure it out. We'll see how many people we get interested. If the first
Yeah.
one goes well, we have people that liked it and they whatever. Maybe we can start building a rapport from that. I'm hoping to anyway.
Yeah, I got to build up to that Coke 600.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever have that in me. Ah, that'll be a long one.
Yeah, we'll do the Roval 600 instead.
Oh my
I'm
god.
using about 25 laps right now.
Yeah. Well, I know, like, we'll have our first test this week, this Friday night, man. It's going to be a long race, Montreal.
Yeah. See how
So,
it goes. See how it goes.
currently, after last week's Daytona race, let's see the triple threat standings here. We're not worried about the next
Let's not look
gen.
at those.
Where are you at in there? Oh, you're not too bad. You're 12th.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I'm
only
12
it's
out of
Daytona
14 or something, you know.
out of 15, but I
Yeah,
mean,
I got caught up in a wreck that I probably caused on lap 4 or something. Just being a little too aggressive, a little too early.
well,
So,
actually, I looked back at that. It looked like you went down low to make the pass, and it looked like he came down to go with you. I don't think it was.
yeah, I mean,
Nah,
my problem is I can't see the cars next to me, so I could have went down a little further, but
yeah.
it is what it is.
So you're in 12th. I mean, we got a long season ahead of us. This triple threat goes through, I think, February, maybe even further.
Yeah, I think it's at least January or February.
Yeah. Currently, right now, I'm tied for second. Three-way tie for second. Ugh. So hopefully we can maintain that. The top 3 get promoted to the next series. Kevin, Kevin. I want to get promoted, but I don't because I'd like to be there when you pop up.
Yeah, that'd be cool, but I don't want to hold you back,
Well, you're not holding me back. I'm sure I'll hold myself back somewhere by myself.
Yeah. Hey, final race is February 3rd, Charlotte.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a long season.
Yeah, a lot of breaks though because like Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year, they're not doing. We race on the 16th of December and the next one is January 6th. So like 4 weeks later.
Oh, it's gonna be a
I guess
long
it's like
thing.
3 weeks, yeah.
Streaming's rough in the holidays and summer when we have young kids. Anybody want kids? Either of you guys?
You
Help?
rent them out.
Help? Yes, for the youngest
I'll,
one goes for the most expensive.
I'll take that one if you take my 2.
Really? After the story we had tonight?
Yep, I'm good, man.
Yeah.
My stories are much different. We got guys moving in. We got, Anyway,
Yeah, I mean your kids are older.
I would, yeah, yeah. They're 24 and 25.
If my 6-year-old comes in with a guy moving in, no sir. She's already.
Hey, Dad, this is Mike, and Mike's like 28 years old. Hey, yeah, what's up, pops?
Mike's a dead guy.
Yeah.
Oh no, my daughter already has like these boys. Like, obviously they don't look at them like boyfriend girlfriend, but oh hell no, they're her bitches. Like they do everything she asks, and I'm like, that's my
what
girl.
they do. That's what they do because they're trying to be friendly. They're in that friend zone.
Yeah, keep them in that friend zone.
Until they're not. Watch out.
You can keep them in that friend zone. Greg, you don't have kids yet, do you?
Nope.
Yeah, he's like, hell no, I ain't playing that shit.
Good man.
Smartest one here.
No, you just got married not too long ago, though, right?
Yeah, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Don't rush it.
Yeah, don't enjoy it. My wife and I didn't get to enjoy it very much.
Well, but then again, if you have them younger, you can get them out of the house, and you still have some age to enjoy yourself. You know what I mean? I'm 48. Turn 49 in a couple of months, and both of my girls are grown. So I'm not having to put someone through college. I'm not having to, fight some 16-year-old kid at 50 years old.
So what you're saying is you're available for childcare.
I am. Just bring them over.
And then we can both send all of our kids up to Greg and be like, watch all of our kids, will you?
Yeah.
I don't care how old they are.
Now that you say that,
Hey,
Take them to the racetrack and put them to work in the pits.
they're coming up in a Tesla, so
Yeah, the charging time's going to throw off their arrival a bit
yeah,
by
it'll
2
be
hours.
like 4 days before
Yeah.
they get there, but it's only supposed to be like 9 hours. Oh, probably less than that. Probably like 5 hours.
But if you step in front of the car, it won't hit you, so you're good.
Oh man.
That's it. You guys got anything else tonight?
No sir.
Greg, you good?
yeah, not much to go over on the race car front this week. We didn't
Yeah.
run the best on Wednesday. The track was rubber down and hot laps, and then Friday we were running pretty good, but we broke a jack shaft in the rear about 2 laps into the feature after I'd passed 2 cars.
Ah man.
Oh
that
my
sucks.
god. It's always after you make good moves, too. Like, make progress. Somebody, you gotta go and freaking Kevin Harvick it up. Sketch fire. Well, I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Appreciate that conversation. Don't forget, those of you listening out there, I appreciate you guys listening. Sorry, we've been looking at getting a foothold here. We've been a little bit behind, but next Wednesday I should be back to streaming full time. We will be back next Wednesday night for whatever Kevin picks. I'm sure it's going to be a wreck fest. Anyway, if it goes anything like the night was at first. Appreciate you guys coming. Don't forget, New Mission Motorsports here on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube, and also newmissionmotorsports@gmail.com. Send your real life or your iRacing pictures and clips. They have them featured on our YouTube release of this podcast every Thursday. Thank you guys for